This result is probably the worst possible outcome for the Obama administration's policy of engagement with Iran. I think the Obama administration probably would have preferred a Mousavi win. The atmospherics of an engagement with a reforming/moderate government certainly would make it easier in Washington. I think they would have lived with a clean Ahmadinejad win and would have said, okay, hard-headed realism dictates that we engage Iran on issues that are important to America's vital national security. But an Ahmadinejad win like this, with the regime at war with itself, with blood on the streets, with the Iranian people, peaceful protesters calling for change, I think in many ways the Obama administration has been careful, but they ought not to be too careful that they're on the wrong side of history here. I don't think there's anything wrong with being more forceful in condemning human rights violations, whereas the Obama administration ought to stay away from getting involved in the internal political dispute that's playing out within Iran. It's a delicate balancing act.
I think you do realize, I don't disagree, because I think there comes a point when you have to acknowledge reality. And what's going on the streets of Tehran is a reality that we can't simply ignore and say, well, we're just going to pretend that it doesn't exist. At the same time, it's an extraordinarily fine line that one has to walk. And if you, in fact, come out and blatantly condemn, say, the acts of the Basij for their brutal terrorism on the streets of Tehran, the regime will say, aha, see there, they decided that really they're on the side of these terrorists and these people who are trying to upset the entire regime, and that it's all the foreigners' fault. It puts you in a very, very difficult position. But however it's handled, whether the United States takes a very firm position and makes their views known, or whether they sit back and give it a little bit more time, the reality is that trying to think about proposing a new policy to an Iranian government that is in crisis is pretty unthinkable. Right. Simply you can't do it because there's nobody, there's no there on the other end, and you simply have to live with the facts. So that's what's happening. So I think everybody in Washington is going to be watching the news broadcast the same way we are, from day to day, trying to figure out what's going on, and then repackage, rethink, or improvise, basically, based on what they actually see happening and what seems to be the kinds of possibilities of things that one can do.